Yep, that's me watching RYAN TRAHAN's 50 States 50 Days series. And that's the map animation from his videos. When I saw it, I immediately knew I have to recreate it. First, I had to figure out where I get the assets from. Obviously, I need a map, the pin and the house, as well as the head in the same emoji style. The pin and the house are pretty easy because they are standard Apple emojis. I scaled them up and took a screenshot of them. For the heads, Apple has this thing called Memoji, where you can create an emoji of yourself. I played around with it until I got this result. Yeah, I know, it's not even close. But let's move on and get to the fun part. I create a new DaVinci Resolve project and bring a Fusion composition into the timeline. Okay, to make this easier for you to follow, let's do this in a tutorial style. We will start by bringing in all of our assets into our Fusion composition. Now we can close the media pool again and delete all of these merge nodes. We will start by identifying which of these media in nodes is which asset. For this we will press 1 on our keyboard to reveal it in our left viewer. So that's the map and we can rename it to map. Now let's do the second one. This is our face. The third one is our pin. The fourth one must be our home icon. Now we will start by taking a clean background and connecting it to the media out. For this background we don't need a color, so let's turn the alpha down to 0. We will start by connecting our map to our node tree by connecting the output into the output of the background. This creates a new merge node which overlays the map onto our background. Now we can go ahead and take a transform node and scale our map to the point where we like it. Let's start down here at Texas. Now we want to connect all the other assets as well, and I will just do this right now. Let's start with the home, connecting it to the merge 1. Then let's take the pin, do the same thing, and lastly our head. And as you can see, we still have a white background on each of these assets, so let's get rid of them. Let's start with the home. We will drag this up a little bit and introduce a HSL keyer. This thing can remove a whole color from an image and cut it out. It's commonly used for green screens, but we can use it here as well. We can't see our house right now, so let's disable merge 3 and merge 4, so these don't disturb us while working. I will also remove the left window by just clicking here on the viewer icon. Now with the HSL keyer, you can take the left icon and click on the white. That's it. Now you can see it already got cut out, but it's not the best result. For this to change, we can go under Matte Finesse and bring up the clean black to remove these white borders. Now our home is cut out, so let's disable the merge node and do the same thing with the pin. You can even take the HSL keyer and copy and paste it onto this pin. As you can see, it already applied the white, cut out and the clean black. So let's do the same thing for our face. Copy and paste. And let's disable merge 3 and enable merge 4. And now it is cut out, but you may notice that the eyes are cut out too. And to fix this, we need to do a little workaround. We will take the output of the face and move it to the output of the HSL keyer. Now this creates a new merge node which overlays the original face image over the cut out face image. And what we can do now is take a rectangle mask, put it into this merge node, and as you can see now it only gets overlaid at the spots where our rectangle is. And of course we can use this to place the rectangle only over the eyes and leave the rest of the image cut out. Just like this. Now our eyes are fixed and we can go on to the next step. For better organization, I will now start labeling our assets. I will start with the face and I will add an underlay, which I rename to face. And then I will press escape for all the other tools because it wants to rename them as well. Now let's do the same thing for the pin. Shift space to bring up the tool menu and type in underlay. Then I will select it and press F2 to rename it. And then escape for the other nodes as well. Now that we've organized our node tree, we can now go ahead and add our route. For this, I will just disable our 3 merge nodes so we can have a better view onto the map. I will also create a little bit of space where we can introduce our route. I will take a polygon node and a background node, and then I will connect the output of the polygon node into the background node. This will take the polygon node as a mask for the background node. And this we can go ahead and plug it into the merge node, which creates another merge node on our node tree. Now we can go ahead and draw our route. I will start down here and let's make it a little bit zigzag. And then finally somewhere to here. Now if you deselect the polygon node, you might wonder, where's my polygon line? For this you need to go to the polygon node again and increase the border width. I will do something around 0.7, and I will also change the color of it by going to the background node and increasing red to 1. Now I'm still not finished with the route because I want the corners to be rounded. For this I will change the tool here to the select tool, then I will draw the select box to select all of them. And now we can go ahead and change it from this straight line to the curved line. Now this makes it round on the corners. You can now go ahead and adjust these corners. For example, this needs to be a little bit more straight, and I don't want to have this as much as it was before. And maybe bring this a little bit around like this. Now I'm happy with the route, and I will create another underlay for the route. Let's do it like this and call it route. And we have all of our assets now prepared to animate them. To animate it, we will start with the house icon and we will enable it again. And we can take the merge node to change the size and move it somewhere down here at the start. Let's make it a little bit smaller, like this. And we will do the same thing for the pin. Let's decrease the size and place it right here at the corner. The head, we will enable it too, and we can also decrease it. But for the head, we will take a transform node and do just a size decrease. We won't move it around. Now to animate the route, we can click on the polygon node again, and here you will find the length slider, which controls the route. And we could just go ahead and animate this and then animate the head always somewhere along the line. But there's an option which makes this much easier because we can connect the head to the end of the polyline. For this, you will need to go down here where you can see there's a keyframe on this polyline. In this keyframe there are all these points saved, and it's here at frame 47 because our cursor was here. If I go to frame 60 and now pull this down, this creates another keyframe which animates our polyline. But in our case we don't need this keyframe and we will remove it. What we will do is right click here and then press publish. This enables us to use the information from this polyline node on other nodes. And that's what we want to do with the head. Now to connect our head to the end of the line, we will go to the center attribute and click on path. This creates this path 1 in the modifiers tab. And for it to work, we need to right click here for shape animation and press connect to polyline value. Now our head already follows the polyline, but as you can see, it's smaller than our red line. This is because our head has a different canvas size than our polyline. And to fix this, we can just introduce another background node, which we connect with a merge node right before the transform. Now, as you can see, there's a black square, which is our background, and we don't want it to be in front of our head. So we click on the merge node and press Ctrl T. Now the background node is a yellow input, which indicates that it's the background. Now to make it invisible, we will just change the alpha back to 0, and our head has the same animation line as the red route. Now in my case, as you can see, it's a little bit offsetted, and the reason for this is that I somehow changed the center of the merge node. Now let's reset this to default, and our head is at the correct position. Now, it's still the starting position and not the end. And you can control this by clicking on our transform, go to the modifiers, path, here, this displacement slider. Deselect the keyframe, and now you can move it around and the head follows our line. But what we want is that it follows the end of the line. And we can change the line length with the polyline tools here, with this length slider. Now, how can we connect this? There's a thing in Fusion which is called expressions. And we can just take the value of the length slider and put it into our displacement slider of our head. Now, to know the name of the length slider in the expressions language, you can hover over it and go to the bottom left where you can see it's polygon1.right_length. Now, let's go to the transform node of our head, into the modifiers tab and to the displacement. We will right click it and press expression. Now, we can delete the zeros and write polygon1.right_length. Enter. And now you can see it's right at the end of our polyline. So we can just go ahead, take the polyline and move the length. Now in some cases, like here at the corner, you can see the polyline is in front of our head. And we can fix this by giving the head a small offset. So let's go to the transform, where we changed our displacement to the expression. And let's try giving it an offset of 0.2. Now that's way too much, maybe 0.02. Yeah, I think 0.02 works fine. And now we can go back and test it with the slider again. And our head is always at the end of our polyline. Now, perfect. Now let's decrease the size of the head a little bit because it's still a bit too big, like this. And let's animate the polyline. Let's move to frame 0, change the length to maybe right around here. And at frame 50, we will change the length to 1. Now let's check out the animation. It's still a bit fast, so let's go to the keyframes tab and check out the length. You can click this item to reveal the whole extension of the animation. And I will just drag the last keyframe back to 70, which slows down our animation. Now I still want to apply a spline to our animation curve, so it's a bit smoother. So let's head over to the spline window and close down the keyframe window. Select the length of the polygon line. I will draw a selection box out of it and press S for smooth. And we have a smooth animation. And that's how I recreated RYAN Trahan's map animation.